What are you doing here? You were excluded yesterday, my brother's fiancée declared at a wedding I funded. I gave a calm smile and said, got it. But before I go, let me introduce my guest, someone you used to know. When she saw who it was, she collapsed. I turned, left the room, and flagged the final payment as contested. Half an hour later, my brother called, yelling, tell me this isn't real. My name's Matt. I'm 32, the older sibling, the designated driver, the furniture mover, the guy who knows which switch powers the dining room because I labeled it. I repair payment systems for work and family issues for nothing. I'm the one who silences the group chat but still arrives with folding seats and a cooler because I promised. My parents call us old school. It usually means Ethan's the golden child. He's 29, all charisma and energy. He glides, I organize. When he said he was marrying Leela 11 months after meeting her at a rooftop lounge, Mom wept joyful film tears and Dad said, at last, someone with flair. I heard, Matt, open your checkbook. I did what I always do. I arranged tastings. I contacted suppliers. I built a spreadsheet so detailed it hurt my eyes. Leela thanked me with a hug that felt like a transaction, warm, brief, and tallied later. She nicknamed me Handy, her tone mixing compliment and caution. I told myself to stay helpful and silent. We had a practice run at the venue, a restored brick factory glowing with fairy lights that make everyone look polished. I hauled in dress bags and 2 crates of sparkling water, checked the audio tech, and taped down a wire nobody else noticed as a risk. Leela showed up 40 minutes late in casual shoes and a jacket that didn't need to impress. She pecked Mom's cheek, gave me an air kiss, and floated by. That night I pressed my shirt, laid out my shoes, and set my phone to silent because I wanted 8 hours of peace before the chaos. I barely slept anyway. Too many people assumed they owned my time. The next day I entered the bridal suite to deliver a steamer, playing the dutiful extra. Leela turned, saw me in the doorway, and her smile vanished like a switch flipped. What are you doing here? You were excluded yesterday, she said, cold, like correcting a vendor who brought the wrong order. The room went still. 2 bridesmaids paused mid-makeup. Mom gave a small, sharp cough. Ethan wasn't there. Just us reflex and ambience. I didn't mirror her tone. I keep mine in a box labeled steady. Got it, I said. But before I go, meet my guest, someone you used to know. A pause, that half-second when your mind scrambles for a line. I stepped aside. Nora stepped in. Leela's face flickered through 3 emotions fast. Shock, scheming, denial, then blank. She went quiet, took 1 breath, and sank to the carpet in a slow, deliberate faint like a stage curtain dropping. Someone gasped. Someone called her name twice. Someone pressed a chilled seltzer can to her forehead. I didn't budge. Nora didn't either. We were anticipated, just not welcome. Matt, Mom snapped, eyebrow raised like a claw. What's this? Past, I said, in person. I placed the steamer by the mirror, nodded to Nora, and walked out. I didn't rush. I didn't glance back. The hallway smelled of lavender and styling products. The fairy lights buzzed. Outside, I adjusted my tie, snapped a pointless photo of the sky, and headed to the parking lot. No shouting yet. No calls, just the sensation of a pipe I'd warned about finally bursting. I didn't mention money. I didn't bring up agreements. I didn't touch my phone. I let the first piece fall on its own. If you want to know why I brought Nora to a room that rejected her, you need to understand the months that led to that door and the years that taught me to hold it open. Ethan was born magnetic. He could spill juice at dinner and make Grandma chuckle. I was born practical. I'd clean it up. We both got praise, but his lingered longer. He's got that glow, Mom would say. Matt's the reliable one, Dad would add, like reliability isn't a skill that keeps the house standing. Money was a topic before I earned my own. At 19, I worked nights at a depot and mornings at a cafe to cover tuition. Duty, Dad said approvingly, meaning no aid. When Ethan was 19 and took a year to find himself, he got a used Jeep with a ribbon. Protection, Mom called it. We look after our own. They mean I look after our own. The first time Ethan asked for a loan was for a lease deposit. More loans followed predictably. A lens for a YouTube project that fizzled after 6 clips, a security deposit he overlooked. Penalties from a job he quit because the manager didn't value genius. Mom called these investments. I called them what the receipts showed. Small slights built a steady trickle. I'd bring a pie I paid for to family dinner, and Mom would say, Ethan, slice it. Let your brother rest for once. Like I'm a stranger who stumbled into a diner. Ethan got the bigger room when we moved Grandma in briefly because he needs space to dream. My tools stayed in the corridor. When I got a raise, Mom texted, so proud. Can you take Thursday off to help Leela with the table plan? When Ethan met Leela, our family learned a new word, ambition. She commands rooms with it. She gestures broadly and wears outfits that seem plain until you spot the brand. She's quick with thanks and quicker with one small favor. In her first month, I fixed her internet, built 3 shelves, and took an Uber to pick her up from a creepy rideshare because Ethan was in a call. She repaid me with a coffee and a peck on the cheek that left no trace but lingered in memory. The engagement was cinematic. Ethan rented a little boat. Leela wept picture-perfect tears. Mom posted 2 hearts 1 journey. Dad wrote, proud dad. I turned their journey into spreadsheets and calendar alerts. At the first tasting, the caterer handed me a packet, not Ethan. I didn't ask for it. It's just what happens when you act like the guy who checks the details. Leela took the packet, handed it back. Matt loves that stuff, she said. He's our planner. I sent the first payments because the venue required one source. $3,500 to hold the space. We'll pay you back, Mom said. $1,200 for a band that plays 80s hits with earnest grins. We'll square up soon, Dad said. $750 for chairs that make you sit like you're posing. Cover it for now, Leela said. Our rewards card is tapped out from Life Things. For now became a recurring role. After the 4th for now, I started a tab in my spreadsheet labeled Family, Event, Dates, Amounts. A column for repaid stayed empty. I tracked it like a ledger because I'm tired of debating storms with people who only step outside when it's sunny. Small issues grew. It's an adults-only event, Leela said, eyes gentle. Except for Ethan's godchild, naturally. I asked where I'd sit. With work colleagues, she said. You'll get along. I'd met them once. They called me Mike for an hour. When I asked about a guest, Leela grinned. You don't do guests, she said. It's so not your style. I stayed quiet because Ethan's joy seemed delicate enough to dent. Nora appeared like a side note that became the main text. She messaged me at 1:13 a.m., 2 months before the event. We'd met once at a housewarming. She was Leela's former roommate, the one who left because she didn't vibe with the area. Her message was direct. Call me. About Leela, it's important. People say call me about someone, and it's usually rumors. This felt weightier. We met at a cafe by the water on a Tuesday. Nora wore a sweatshirt, no makeup, and looked like someone who hadn't slept well in weeks. She slid a binder across the table like I was a loan officer. Leela owes me $12,800, she said, not including the utilities she skipped when we lived together. She had receipts, screenshots, a small claims case number that made my gut sink. And it's not just me. She heard others, suppliers, a photographer, a florist. She books, she cancels, she vanishes. She lists someone else as the payer. Nora's eyes were weary. You're always the contact now. That's why I reached you. Why me? I asked. Because you seem like the guy who pays, she said. You seem like the one they'll call when it all falls apart. I called Leela because fairness is a habit I haven't shaken. Nora says, Nora's bitter, she said, fast like a reflex. She wants Ethan back. Ethan, I asked, because that wasn't in my notes. I mean, Leela sighed. She's obsessed with him. It's odd, don't encourage it. I didn't tell Ethan. I didn't know how to drop a bomb without being the one who lit the fuse. I did start asking for contracts, naming the payer. Leela called me uptight and told Mom I was making everyone feel broke. Mom called to say, relax, it's a celebration, not a ledger. The week before the date, 2 suppliers sent me bills I hadn't seen. Final payment due tomorrow. The sums weren't small. The venue sent a friendly reminder, we'll charge the saved card. The saved card was mine. I called Leela. Why's my card saved? Convenience, she said. You're great with details. Remove it, I said. She paused. Don't be stingy, Matt. I laughed, surprising us both. Stingy is using my card to seal your ceremony. She hung up. Mom called within minutes. Don't be spiteful, she said. This is your brother's moment. It's also my limit, I said. The next day, a text from Leela. Due to conflict, you're out of the wedding party. Also, due to venue limits, we're withdrawing your invite. A formal exclusion the day before. Not a discussion. A notice. Ethan added, man, don't make this about you. Please. The please cut deeper than the rest. I didn't sleep. I replayed Nora's binder in my mind. Dates, transfers, borrowed. Just till Monday. Unpaid sums. I saw my spreadsheet. Payments. Due. Repaid. Empty. At 7:15 a.m. on the wedding day, I made a choice I wish I'd made a decade ago. I wouldn't leave my brother in the dark if I could shed light. Nora agreed to walk in with me, not to confront, not to argue, just to be present in a room that acted like she wasn't. If she lies to you after seeing me, Nora said, you'll know the game you're in. That's how we reached the bridal suite doorway. The exclusion, the introduction, the collapse. I still hadn't mentioned money. I hadn't touched the figures. I held it all back because I wanted the truth to stand up and walk on its own. I stepped into the parking lot with the kind of peace that comes only after you've tried everything else. The sky was boldly blue. A kid in the next lot was practicing skateboard moves alone. In my pocket, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Come back. Now, I didn't. 15 minutes later, Ethan found me by the roses. He looked like a catalog groom and a kid who'd lost years of rest at once. What did you do? He said. No greeting, no hey, just straight to the fallout. I brought Nora, I said. Why? Because she's part of your story, I said. You should know every page before you sign the contract. He rubbed his face. Leela says Nora's harassing her. Leela says a lot, I said. Have you seen the filing? What filing? He wasn't pretending. He was caught in it. I handed him a folder. Same kind as Grandma's. Different contents. Copies of Nora's claims, screenshots of payment demands, bills with my email as backup. 2 supplier emails saying we've seen this before. I'd written dates in pen at the top like a professor. He flipped, scanned, flipped again. His mouth moved once with a word he didn't voice. From the side door, Mom appeared like a director. Matt, fix this, she hissed. Apologize to Leela, you shamed us. I looked at Ethan. This isn't about vengeance, I said, slow and clear. This is about resolution. Mom laughed without warmth. Resolution? At a wedding? You're heartless. Heartless as letting your son enter a life he doesn't grasp, I said quietly. The door opened wider. Leela stood there, paler than makeup could mask, her maid of honor fanning her with a booklet. She saw the folder in Ethan's hands. Her eyes turned razor-sharp. Do not believe this, she said. Nora's fixated on me. She's always been fixated. Matt's envious of us. He's trying to wreck today. Ethan looked at me. Is that true? No, I said. What's true is this. My card's on file at the venue. The final charge runs at 4. The florist says we owe $2140 because someone added roses yesterday. The band sent a fee I didn't approve. And 3 suppliers in Nora's folder have your fiancé on block. Stop, Leela said, voice sharp enough to cut glass. You're pitiful. I kept my tone even. I'm consistent. Dad appeared, tie slightly off, eyes blazing. You will not ruin this family moment, he said. Finger pointed. I didn't, I said. You built it on a fault line and walked away. The maid of honor whispered to Leela. Leela shook her head. Call security, she said. I'm not leaving mine. Ethan raised a hand. No, he stared at the papers like they'd speak if he stared hard enough. Is any of this false? He asked Leela. She gave the smile that got us out of fines and into upgrades. Baby, please, today? Really? We'll talk later. Answer, he said, not loud, final, her lips tightened. Nora's dramatic, she said. She lent me money because she wanted to be part of it. She's punishing me for limits. Did you add my card to suppliers without asking? I asked. She turned on me. You volunteered. You said you wanted to help. I volunteered to coordinate, I said. You used my card because I follow through. Ethan sat on the low wall like someone unplugged him. He still held the folder. He looked up at me with eyes suddenly 10 years old. What do I do? You don't have to marry today, I said. You can say not like this. You can pause. You can keep what's real and discard what's broken. Mom made a strangled sound. Matt, Dad stepped forward. Walk away and you'll regret it forever, he told Ethan. Walk in unaware and you'll pay for it forever, I said. Leela stepped toward Ethan. Voice soft again, hand on his arm. Baby, don't let your brother steal this from you. He's always been envious. He's always wanted to be the savior. Being the savior costs, I said. I'm done with it. Silence settled between us. The skateboard kid crashed, rose, crashed. Ricardo, the venue manager, approached like he'd stepped into the wrong scene. We, need a call on the extra tables, he said. And the bartender needs to know about the open bar soon. Leela latched onto it. See, she said, real things. Not drama, we're marrying today. Ethan looked at the ring on his finger, then at the folder, then at Leela's face. He stood. He handed me the folder back. Can I have an hour? He asked Leela. Absolutely not, she said. He nodded once. Slower than a clock's tick. Then I need one anyway, he said. She whispered something about deserting her. Mom started sobbing. Dad started preaching. I put the folder under my arm, turned to the manager and said, please halt all charges on the card ending in 2442. The cardholder revokes authorization. My voice stayed steady. I expected it to waver. It didn't. Leela's head whipped toward me. You can't, I can, I said. It's mine. Ricardo looked relieved to have direction. Let me, go confirm, he said, and hurried off. Leela's face shifted into something new. Not anger, not charm. Not strategy, fear. It looked real. Get out, she said to me, voice low and unsteady. Now I'm going, I said, but I'm not saving this. That's done. I touched Ethan's shoulder once. He didn't pull away. He didn't lean either. That's fine. It was his hour. I gave it to him. I walked to my car feeling like I'd stepped off a stage, and the understudy refused to perform. In the rear view, I saw Mom clutch Leela's hands, saw Dad gesture at the sky like it had insulted him, saw the bridesmaids pretend to fix bouquets while texting the group chat. I saw the fairy lights try to hold the mood together and fail. I didn't drive far. I parked 2 blocks away under a tree I used to climb at 10. The leaves swayed like a crowd exhaling. My phone lit up. 30 minutes after I left, Ethan called, shouting, "Tell me this isn't real." "What isn't?" I asked. "Clarity is a tool. I keep it honed. Nora, the suppliers, your card, the roses, the whole mess. It's real," I said. "I have proof." "I sent it to your email. Subject line before you commit." He made a wounded sound and hung up. I let him. In my banking app, I marked the venue's final charge as disputed and disabled the card on file. I canceled 2 automatic charges tied to the bar tab. I sent a 1-line email to each supplier. "I am not the payer. Remove my card from your system immediately." I copied Ricardo to keep a human in the loop. I wasn't ruining a celebration. I was unplugging my lifeline from a room that had sealed the windows. Mom 12 missed calls, Dad 8. Unknown numbers 6, Leela none. She never calls the help, she calls the narrative. I turned my phone face down and stared at the steering wheel until my shoulders settled back. Then I called my bank's fraud line. Charges pending at Old Foundry events and Barcraft services in the next 3 hours. I said, "I revoke permission. Keep the deposit, block the rest." The rep asked security questions I could answer blind. "We'll flag them," he said. "You may need to address merchant inquiries. I can handle paper," I said. He chuckled like I was ancient. Ricardo texted, "Got your email. We paused the final charge. We need a new card to proceed." I typed, "I'm not providing one. Direct questions to the couple." He replied, "Understood. Best wishes to all. Hospitality workers should run the planet." At 3:11, Ava, one of Leela's bridesmaids, posted a story. A boomerang of wine glasses and the caption, "Some people can't handle happiness." I didn't respond because my peace matters. At 3:18, Ethan called again, voice rough. "She said Nora fabricated it all. Did you call Nora?" I asked. "Yes," he said, quiet voice. "She sent me her small claims receipt and a text from Leela saying, 'Please don't ruin this for me.' I didn't say I told you so. He's my brother, not a debate rival." "What do you want?" I asked. Silence. "Then I don't know. You can say not today," I said. "People will be upset. Some will be relieved. You'll still wake up tomorrow. And you'll still be you. Dad texted a novel. You sabotaged your brother. You humiliated your mother. You owe us." I stopped reading. I blocked him for 12 hours because I deserved 12 hours. By 4, the parking lot had become a chaos hub. People in gowns paced in loops. The florist rolled a cart back to her van, face neutral. The band smoked by the bins. The sky tilted toward dusk. At 4:21, Ethan texted, "We're delaying." 1 word later, indefinitely. I leaned back in my seat and stared at the tree until it stopped being a symbol and was just a tree again. 5 minutes later, Leela sent her only message to me. "You'll pay for this." I didn't reply. Consequences aren't bills I accept by text. At home, I hung my shirt on a chair, washed my face, and called Nora. "You okay?" I asked. She said yes, then no, then yes again. "Thank you," she said. I said thank you back. Not a tidy ending. Just 2 people who did a tough thing and were exhausted. That night, Ethan showed up at my door with a bag and eyes like he'd stared at a screen too long. He didn't speak for 2 minutes. Then, "I'm sorry." Then, "I hate you." Then, "Thank you." I made tea because I didn't know what else to do with my hands. He slept on my couch. He woke at 2:37, 4:12, and 5:06. I didn't try to fix his breathing. I'm learning. In the morning, we ate toast. He looked at my spreadsheet printed and taped inside a folder on the counter. The one labeled family event. "You tracked it," he said. Not a question. "I have to," I said. "Otherwise, it's story against story." He nodded like the idea carried weight. "I want to repay you," he said. "Start by not linking my card to your life," I said. It came out sharper than intended. He nodded anyway. Okay, weeks passed. The noise faded. People tire when a tale stops spinning. Leela posted a statement like a press release for a boutique candle brand. "Choosing to pause until we can celebrate with full hearts." She blocked Nora. She never tried to apologize to me. That's fine. I'm not a gate she needs to pass anymore. Mom cycled through 3 modes: fury, silence, memory. Dad tried a story about brothers in a meadow that made no sense and ended with a call for me to be bigger. I said I already am. Bigger than the role you cast me in. Then I blocked him for another 12 hours. 12 hours is my gift to sanity. Ethan found a counselor who specializes in untangling. He returned the spare key I forgot he had. "I'll ask next time," he said. The next time was when he asked me to help cancel a ring insurance policy billed to my email. I gave him the number and sipped my coffee. He called himself. The suppliers were kinder than I earned. The florist refunded part of the deposit because you were up front. The venue kept the initial funds and waived the rest. I wrote thank you emails like a grandparent with fine paper. I set new rules and posted them where I could see them. No shared cards, no just till Monday, no cosigns, no hidden heroics. If my name's on a bill, I control it. If it's not, I don't touch it. If someone says family first, I hear boundaries first. Because if you don't set them, someone will draw them around you like caution tape and call it care. I didn't ruin a celebration. I broke a cycle. That's what I tell myself when guilt knocks like a quiet visitor at midnight. I didn't create the chaos, I stopped funding it. Here's the line, said once for the record and then lived quietly. This isn't about vengeance, it's about resolution. Resolution looks like hanging up, like removing a card. Like not showing up when you were excluded yesterday. Like stepping into a bright parking lot and breathing until your lungs recall how. I hope Ethan builds something solid that doesn't smell of ash. I hope Mom learns to love without playing spokesperson. I hope Dad learns the story where the steady son doesn't have to prove his value by covering everyone's candles. I hope Leela settles what she owes to those she used and stops calling it drive. But whether they do or don't, here's what I know. I'm done being the default fund, the human backup plan, the guest to other people's crises. I'll show up when asked with respect, not obligation. I'll keep records, not grudges. I'll choose my moments and leave if the room decides I'm furniture. I check my locks, I sleep. I make eggs. I answer calls when I want to. And when someone says, "What are you even doing here?" I say with a smile they can't cash exactly what I need to.